I'm Chris Mills with surfstrengthcoach.com. What you are about to see and follow with is a literal follow along that I recorded for members of the Endless Paddling Endurance Program, which you can get in the Surf Athlete Academy. I recorded it for them. I'm going to throw it up on YouTube for you. So what this is the joint health and mobility warm-up prior to getting into some actual endurance and durability training for the shoulder. This is quick, this is easy. You can use this to warm up before a training session or just use it as kind of a stretching mobility routine. This is fundamental, it's crisp, it's clean. Oh, look at that alliteration.
Nice.
It's crisp, clean, and I blew it. So, couple simple drills that you should know how to do anyways. Enjoy it. Make sure the shoulder joint works because that's kind of critical for paddling. So check out the Endless Paddling Endurance Program if you need. Now dive into this routine. Joint health and mobility routine. Follow along with me at speed. All the details can be found in all the individual tutorials. This is for baseline shoulders level 1, joint health and mobility from one of your paddling focus workout days. So what we're intending to do, get the spine moving because spine and ribs are the platform of the shoulders. Shoulders are kind of important. So we're gonna get the spine moving, get the ribs rotating, get the shoulder blades moving on the rib cage, warm up the shoulder joint so you can then go train. And remember, if you need details for this, you check out the tutorials. And how's this? I'm leaving for Nicaragua in like 7 days, a month of coaching camps. Slipped on some leaves skating 2 days ago and tweaked that patellar tendon. It'll come all right. And then this morning, I stubbed my pinky toe on a brick outside and tore off all the skin and fat pad. Brutal. All right, 5 reps. Cat-cow, nice and slow. We go for length. And remember, it's as if we're doing a wave, 1 segment at a time. The head is the last thing to come, and then again, starting at that low back, L5, L4, L3, L2, referring to the lumbar vertebrae, then T12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, all the way up. Neck is last. So a lot of people might have difficulty sequencing this movement. As I show in the full tutorials, you might need to break this out into individual low back awareness or individual thoracic spine awareness. When I'm doing these on my own, I might, if I'm a little tweaky in the low back, I might just do some low back reps, make sure that's all moving well. But once you get that individual sequencing down, which takes time, people usually move their spines in chunks. Then we can start to move everything as a unit. But generally, when people move everything as a unit, they only move their low back and their neck. So we really want to start dialing in this segmental cat-cow so we get all the vertebral segments of the spine contributing to movement. We're moving those joint capsules, pumping tissue, waking up all those little intertransversari and rotatories and multifidus, the muscles along the spine. I think that's 5. I kind of stopped counting. Lat stretch. So I'm not going to do the ball version. I'm going to do the on the ground version. Kind of child's pose, reach one arm up, across, thumb to the sky, traction on the ground. I pull my hip away from my traction hand. And right now I'm breathing and expanding into my right rib cage. We're going to hold this for about 45 seconds. I usually just hold for breath cycles, so I'll do that for maybe 4 to 6 breaths. In and out. Pulling my right hip away from my right armpit, trying to expand those ribs with each inhale and exhale. One more. If you get impingement issues, your arm might not like this position, so you might not sink your body as low. You can still traction that arm against the ground. So I traction, I start pulling my left hip away from my left arm. I'm breathing into this left rib cage. 45 seconds, so I would go about 4 to 6 breath cycles. As you breathe in, inflate that entire left rib cage, and as you exhale, that tension will release. And I keep pulling that left hip a little further away from my left armpit because that arm is tractioned. I almost kind of turn the chest away from my right or left hand. I can feel that almost all the way down into the pelvis. Epic lat stretch. That one's really good post surf. All right, windmill. 6 reps to side. I'm a little tight on space. Get this 90-90 position that locks that spine. I should have a pillow. Reach, breathe in, exhale. Don't force it. Increase it with reps. Just let the body loosen up with repetitions. Try not to pull that top pelvis or that top leg and pelvis back. If I want to keep those knees stacked, that way I'm focusing this rotation at the thoracic spine. If I just let my knees come unstacked, I'm rotating the pelvis. So you're taking some of the rotational requirement off of the thoracic spine. So I've loosened up there. That's usually rotating right is generally a tight side for me. So I've got some right side. I always feel pretty stuck at about L5 up to L3. So that's loosened up. Cool, switch sides. You can always do a couple extra reps on a side if you're tight. Let me make sure I didn't turn off that microphone. So I reach, my head should be supported on a pillow, breathe in, exhale, chill. Let me scoot up a little, yeah, reach. So this is getting the arm to coordinate movement with the thoracic spine. So thoracic spine, ribs, shoulder blade, shoulder joint into the arm. I'm nowhere near as tight rotating left, so I could go back and revisit those right-sided rotations. Don't force it, let it increase over time. Scap circles, open chain, scap meaning scapula. So if I straightforward, I have 10 per direction. I will personally usually do a lot more. So I'm controlling, thinking nice long spine. I'm not moving the ribs. 3, control. 4, biggest, most controlled circle you can do. 5, punch them forward, pull them back. 6, 7. Notice I'm trying not to move the neck. I'm trying not to move the ribs. I'm moving the scapula on the rib cage. I think that's 10. I'm going to reverse it. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes people just need to practice push-pulls before we start adding all of the rest of the rotation. And when they start doing rotation, they might need to think 4-quadrant. Up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back. And then you start to get the sync of that. Eventually with load, we're going to do these closed chain on the ground, knees up, so we start putting more load through that tissue. All right, one arm backwards, band swings. You can use crossover symmetry bands, you can use Stroops, you can use surf athlete bands, as long as it's got not too much tension and it's got these handles. We need some length here. You can do these standing, control the pelvis, lengthen, allow the rib to rotate. Find that range that you're totally comfortable controlling. This is a vulnerable position, so I'm not just flinging my way through there. I'm really controlling that, being aware of how does that shoulder feel. And notice I'm letting the rib cage open up a bit with it. If I'm just here straight forward, that's a lot of shoulder extension. Not everybody's shoulders can take that. Nice tall spine, let the rib cage come with it. I'll usually inhale, exhale. Cool, let me switch arms. First couple reps, really be aware there, right? Until that shoulder joint really starts to loosen up. Reaching forward, I'm loading that biceps tendon, serratus anterior. As I come back, I'm stretching the biceps, anterior deltoid, pectoralis major, some pec minor. Remember, I let that torso go with that rotation a bit. Once you got the awareness, I don't have to let the torso rotate as much because I want to strengthen and lengthen that tissue. If you've got a really vulnerable shoulder, your circles might just be like little ones until eventually we get nice and big, because this is almost the exact opposite of a paddle stroke. So it's good to strengthen through this because it actually lengthens and opens everything that is shortened, tightened, chronically, I'm computer-based, killing it. Open up those shoulders. Your upper body is ready to go. Train smart. Within that phase 1 or level 1 essential shoulder baselines, you are working on, can the shoulder move? Can the ribs move? Can the spine move? Can the scapula move? Because all of that is the health of the shoulder joint. So as we start building fitness, control, endurance around all the muscles that control the shoulder blades and the shoulder joint, we improve the health of those structures, the efficiency of those muscles. That way when we go into later phases, things are in place. We can then start adding endurance and load into these tissues and joints because now they're healthier. I'm good to go. Let's train.